Hi friends, happy Friday. It's Friday when I'm filming this. Today I am self-calling Peach Day. So it's August here in Virginia. There's tons of peach orchards with tons of delicious, wonderful peaches. I have not made it out. I actually got a bag of peaches yesterday at Target, and I went ahead and already made peach pancakes. Nothing exciting, just Kodiak pancake mix, and I just chopped some peaches really fine and threw them in there with a little bit of almond extract and cinnamon. Paul, my toddler, wouldn't touch them. Tilly loved them. So that was a hit, nothing too fancy. One of the inspirations of even getting peaches besides just eating them was to make like a peach cobbler or a peach crisp, because I've seen so many people online posting them. They looked absolutely delicious. The only problem with doing that for just us is Paul probably won't touch it, Tilly will, and I feel like those are only good when they're first warm. So I was looking at peach desserts. This one caught my eye. I don't know who it's from. I'll list the link of the recipe below and I'll let you know at the end if it's even good. But this is fresh peach crumb bars. They look amazing. I haven't decided I'm gonna have the recipe because it's a 9x13. I might just have it so it's like a glass Paris dish, like a 8x8 or something like that. But it looks amazing. So I'm gonna make that today, and then I'm also gonna make peach ice cream. I got some new ice cream containers. I got these long ones I've been wanting to try. I have which work well. Okay, so this is actually the whole reason why we got them. Matt is the ice creamaholic. So I bought these, and we have this weird ice cream drawer in my freezer, and they don't fit there nicely. We have some Turkey Hill in there. Matt is the ice cream freak. So this drawer here is for ice cream. It does work. It keeps it as like a scoopable temperature. So I got these, and I did measure. They fit in that drawer. So I got these long ice cream things. We're gonna use that. So I'm gonna get the base going earlier. I actually mix everything in the Vitamix and just throw it in the fridge. And then when I'm ready to make the ice cream, I just dump it in. Depending whether I wanna put the peaches in then or later. I might just actually slice all the peaches once when I do the bars and add the peaches to the ice cream later. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. But I have a Cuisinart ice cream machine, absolutely love it. My mom got it for me for Christmas or birthday 5-10 years ago, and it has a little recipe booklet in it. It does not have a recipe for peach ice cream per se, but it has one for fresh strawberries. So I'm just gonna use that recipe, and I think I'm gonna add, because I like these flavors of peach, I'm just gonna add a little bit of almond extract and a little dusting of cinnamon to mine. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So really 3 peaches recipes, but I'm just sharing one with you. So like I said, if we're even counting this one, I don't know if we're counting this as one, but I just took Kodiak cakes and chopped up 1 peach. I made a cup worth of the dry Kodiak mix. Let's just add water. And I added an entire peach. I just diced it really small. And I make these size pancakes because this is what my kiddos like. So that I'm calling this recipe 1, super duper easy. It was very, very delicious. I'll just leave in the description box what I did with the pancakes, even though you didn't watch me do that. Nothing really exciting. So I'm probably gonna do a voiceover. I'm sorry if that's annoying, but my kids are so loud and I don't wanna force them to be quiet. So Tilly's coming over, let's get dressed. Okay, let's go ahead and get this ice cream going. I'm going to put everything in my Vitamix, so it's just easy on me. I'm going to start with 3/4 of a cup of whole milk, pour that right into the Vitamix. I'm going to get my heavy cream measured and ready, but I'm not going to add it just yet. I really want the sugar and the milk to dissolve in the Vitamix, and I don't want to make whipped cream. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and I'm going to add just 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. This stuff is very, very strong. I have gone overboard with it and ruined recipes before, so I'm very cautious. About 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can see I didn't really measure there. Salt, about 1/2 teaspoon, and then we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of white sugar. Get that all in the Vitamix here, and then I'm just going to turn it on the lowest setting. This is just me being lazy, and it's a good pouring vessel to make ice cream in. This is just the way I do it. So I put it on one of the lower settings, just let that go for just like a minute or 2. Again, just trying to dissolve the sugar in there, and then on low, I'm gonna add the heavy cream. Not really doing anything, just trying to make sure everything's all mixed. So as soon as I get it all in there, and I do scrape every ounce of that out, I just take the whole blender off the Vitamix and throw it in the fridge and let it sit there for about an hour or 2. God, these fresh peach crumb bars were absolutely delicious. And I was telling Matt, you could probably make these with so many different types of fruit. But anyway, the crust, a cup of granulated sugar, 3 cups of all-purpose flour. This is the recipe. I'm having everything here so I can make it an 8x8, but this is the full recipe for a 9x13. Teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. And then you're going to I just mix it up with a fork, and I'm taking my cold butter. The recipe is a cup. Again, I'm having it, so I'm doing just 1 stick. I'm going to cut that up into cold cubes. It's right out of the fridge. You can see it's hard. I'm using my bench scraper. I cut it long ways twice to make these little cubies, and then just go at it down here. The recipe does say to use a pastry cutter, but I have recently fallen in love with doing this by hand. It's very zen when you mix butter into flour. I don't know why. I just smush it here with my fingers and just like zone out, and was watching Paul play with his science kit for, I don't know, like five minutes till everything's blended like this. And then the recipe is 1 egg. So I'm whipping it here in a little container to see how much 1 egg was, and then I'm going to divide it and put half the egg into my crust. The other half of the egg did not get wasted. I made an omelet for Tilly for dinner, so she had the other half of that right there. But in all honesty, I probably could have just thrown the entire egg in there and it would have been completely fine, but I was trying to follow the recipe. So half of a large egg lightly beaten here, mix it all around, and it forms this super crumbly dough that is going to be not only the base, but the crumb topping as well. I can't even tell you how good this recipe was. You have to try it and let me know if you liked it as much as we did. I could have made the whole thing, but oh my gosh, it was delicious. It was very crisp for a few days, and then it started getting a little on the soggy side, but still was so good. So I went ahead and sprayed my pan, and I'm just gonna put, the recipe says, about half of this mixture into the pan, and then to push it down, I used the back of a measuring cup to just tamp it down so it's one flat, even layer. This helps with you pushing it down so when you cut it, that it comes out kind of like a graham cracker crust on a cheesecake. Same kind of philosophy here. So I just used the measuring cup and just kind of pushed it down. I would have normally used my purple OXO cookie spatula I used to use all the time, but it was actually in the dishwasher. That's what I was looking for. So these are the peaches that I got from my Target haul a couple videos ago, and I did not get them. It was like 3 days before I was doing this, and you can see they were rotten, but that was my fault for not checking. I picked out my own produce. I just grabbed a bag, threw it in my cart, and was on our way. So it's okay. I made it work, and I was just peeling them with a vegetable peeler. Sometimes I do this. Sometimes I score them and dunk them in hot water and for like 30 seconds, and then in ice water, and the skin comes off. I just didn't feel like doing all those pots and pans, so I was just using a vegetable peeler, and I had to cut all these bad spots off too. At least they were Freestone peaches, and the pit came right out. And then I just did my best to slice them as small as possible, and I realized when I was like 3/4 of the way of chopping all of these, I should have just brought out my vegetable chopper, and that would have made them a more consistent small dice, because they're very slippery, and just, you know, whack right through it. About halfway through, I realized the recipe said to sprinkle about a teaspoon of lemon juice on the peaches just to make sure they don't oxidize. So that's me doing that here in that bowl off to the side. And this is peaches for not only the peach crumb bars, but also my ice cream. So finally getting all of these peaches here ready to go, chopped up. Matt actually said for the ice cream he wishes the peaches were a little bit smaller, but you know, I was just trying to move here. So I'm taking 2 cups of peaches out of the bowl off to the side for my ice cream, which I was gonna do, you know, I was kind of doing mom ADH here. I was doing crumb bars, ice cream, crumb bars, back and forth. So I put those, I believe, in the refrigerator until I was ready to do the ice cream, and this is my peaches that are left. And we are adding a half a cup of granulated sugar. Again, this is the full recipe. A tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I mix those all up, pour them back into the pan, and then it goes, oh, actually, I'm sorry. Then we're going to take our crumb topping, and I use my hand to kind of press them together to make bigger crumbs, and scatter the crumbs all over the fruit topping. And it says on the recipe, if you're using a glass pan, which I probably would have done normally if it was a 9x13, 350 degrees for 50 to 55 minutes. This little pan was a metal pan. I increased the temperature to 375, and it was in here for about 30 minutes. I just kept checking it. The recipe said 40 to 45 minutes for the 9x13. About 25-30 minutes it was done, and then once it's cool, you can put on this glaze, which I kind of just Missy-fied. It was a cup of powdered sugar, quarter teaspoon of almond extract, tablespoon of milk. I went ahead and used heavy cream because I like my glazes with heavy cream better. I feel like they just taste better. I don't know. I like to use heavy cream. The recipe was milk. And I was just eyeballing it till it was the consistency that I wanted. And you can see here me fighting with my whisk. I probably should have used a different whisk for this, but I eventually got it out. And then just because I'm extra and I just wanted the pretty lines, once I get this the consistency that I wanted, I have pastry bags from my cake decorating days all over my house that I need to use up anyway. So I grabbed a small one, put it in a mason jar to help stand it up, and I used a spatula to scrape all of this delicious icing into the pastry bag. And one of my tips to getting it all towards the bottom is to use I have a plastic bench scraper here, and I'm just smushing it towards the end and putting just like a chip clip on it, just so it wouldn't you know, harden on me, because I did this when they were still in the oven and I had to let it, you know, sit out for a little bit so that the bars would cool before I put the icing on. Probably about a good 2 hours I let it sit on the counter. So here's my wonderful Cuisinart mixer. I use this all the time, my ice cream maker. I keep this in the kitchen. The insert was in my deep freeze, so I can just make ice cream constantly. Here's that base. I'm pouring it in from my Vitamix and let it go for just a minute, and then I'm putting in those 2 cups of fresh peaches. Again, Matt said that he wished I'd chopped them a little bit smaller. I probably should have. And I just let this go for about 20 minutes or so until it looks kind of, it's getting there. I probably let that go for like another 10 minutes or so. Here are those crumb bars out of the oven. Oh my God, it smelled amazing. You can see they're bubbly and delicious. Ugh. And here's the ice cream right before I'm about to take it out and put it in the freezer for about another 2 hours before eating. Okay, so I'm calling this peach ice cream kind of done. Honestly, I just can't listen to the noise anymore. It's not that loud. It's just this like in the background hum noise. I'm too tall. You're not going to get the ice cream machine and me in the same shot. I have the crumb bars there are cooling. I'm going to frost them in a little while once it completely cools. This is the spoon I used to get out, but I don't usually eat ice cream with a ridiculous spoon like this, but it is really, really good. It's like soft serve, peachy. You get a little hit of that almond. You have to be so careful with almond extract because it is very strong. So I'm going to scoop this in my new ice cream container that I got on Amazon. It's supposed to be like easy so you could scoop it. That's why it's long. Plus it fits in that drawer thing I was telling you about. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop it in here and get it in the freezer. You wanna try some? What do you think? You think what? Yeah. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please think about giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll list all the recipe info in the description box below. Check me out on Instagram. My handle's up here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.